What if MLP FIM never took off? What if My Little Pony Friendship is Magic never became as popular as it is now? What if that never happened? What if the fandom, the pony fandom, never existed? What if it never really went anywhere? How would it be? Well, would the show itself be any different? Would anything be added or subtracted? Would anything be taken out of the show? Would anything never be in the show in the first place if it never grew a following? To some extent, yes, but to some extent, no. I feel like if MLP never took off, they would probably make one season, maybe a second season. They might have made a second season, even if the fan base never existed. Maybe. In fact, they probably would. They probably would make a second season. And speaking of second season, would the second season be any different? I don't know. Because I could guess. Like, I could guess, but I don't know exactly how the minds of Hasbro and the Hub and everyone who works on MLP, I don't know how their brains work. I don't know how they work, so I'm not quite sure if I could, say, oh, they would definitely do this, or they would definitely do that, or they definitely wouldn't do this, or something, because I don't know. I'm not them. I'm not in their brain. Which, if I was, that would be kind of weird. But anyway, would, anything be taken out? Would anything not be there? Would the slapstick be there? Yes. Would the show still have slapstick? Yes. Why? Because it's been there since the very beginning. I feel like the slapstick concept has been there since, episode 3 or 4. Applebuck season had, a ton of slapstick. It was full of slapstick, and that was only episode 4, the 4th episode of the series. And the 3rd episode had the Benny Hill reference thingy. A Burn the Hoof had it too, but episode 3 had it first. So, I don't think the slapstick would have changed. I think they would have still had slapstick and old cartoon humor, because that's just the way they wanted to make the show. They didn't want to make it just for us. They wanted to make it for the general audience, which is anyone. They wanted to make it accessible for anyone, which that's one of the reasons why I really like the show, because it seems like it is accessible for anyone to watch. Anyone could enjoy it no matter what their tastes are. They can enjoy it if they like violence, because there's some violence in the show. I mean, it's not a completely action-based show, but there are fighting scenes and cartoon violence. And there's also slapstick, like I mentioned earlier, for, people like me who love classic cartoons that, really miss those types of cartoons where it's not just all verbal talk, it's, physical humor and just other means of cartoon humor in general. I can't really think of anything right now, but, I mean, it's not really getting hurt. It is getting hurt. The character's getting hurt, but it's more so it's more so them getting hurt in brutally ways, but not really having that much of an effect on them. I mean, they might have a couple of scratches and bruises, but to be honest, if someone got in the head, got crushed by flower pots, anvils, pianos, and hay bales, they would probably die. To be honest. But a cartoon character could basically live through no, not even basically. They could live through anything. They could live through a massive nuclear explosion, and they have. So, I'm pretty sure slapstick would still be there. So, slapstick, check, I guess, on the imaginary checklist of things that would still be there if MLP never gained a following. Violence, I guess it's been there too. Since early on in season 1, I guess. I mean, I can't remember that much violence. I mean, the whole violence thing never really took off until I don't know when. But anyway, I'm not I'm pretty sure there would still be a bit of violence in the show, because, you know, that's the way it's been. So, yeah. Violence, check, I guess. Verbal humor, meaning, like, jokes as in, like, actual verbal jokes that people say, I'm pretty sure those would still be there, because, you know, you gotta remember, even though, from the beginning, they didn't make this show specifically for bronies, they did make it for adults, too. You gotta remember that. They made it accessible, like I said earlier, they made it accessible for adults to watch it with, like, their children, and for the grandmas to watch it too, and grandpas, and daddies, and mommies, and aunts and uncles, and cousins, and other family members on your family tree, etc. So yeah, they made it for not for the general audience, not just, you know. But anyway. So yeah, I feel like verbal humor would still be there. Adult references. I made an entirely different, or an entirely separate Let's Talk on this, but adult references, real quickly, I'm just going to say, I'm pretty sure they would still be there a bit, because like I said, they made it for adults too. Adult references, like, you know, the punch has been spiked thing, and the Appletini reference and whatnot. Those would references in general would probably still be there, so check on references. They would probably still be there. So far we have slapstick, violence, verbal humor, and references would probably still all be in the show if there was never a fandom, I feel. I don't know if, like, the fans have influenced the show at all. I sort of doubt it. I really do, because, I mean, after seeing, like, episode 3 and 4 of the first season for the first time, I felt confident in the team to actually make a good show that, you know, is regardless if it gets popular or not, which they have, you know, which is why it became popular. But so yeah, I really don't feel like the show would be much different if the fan base had never come to be. I don't feel like it would have changed that much. Maybe a little bit there. Maybe, you know, like, maybe, first of all, Derpy probably wouldn't have became as, you know, big as she is, and even in the show itself, if it wasn't for the fans, but because that's basically the fans' character. But that's basically all I have to say on this subject. I mean, I don't really feel, like I said, I don't feel like they would. Everyone's like, oh, if the fans have never came to be, if MLP never had a fan base, then they would make the show really bad. No, they probably wouldn't, guys. They probably would still make it a pretty great show. It just probably wouldn't be watched by many people. That's just it. Probably wouldn't be watched by many people. It would still probably be the show we love now, but we probably wouldn't see it. So, that's what I think of the... That's what I feel MLP would be if it never had a fan base. I feel like it wouldn't be much different. I'm pretty sure we probably might not have a third season. It probably, if there was never a fan base and they did make a season 2, I'm pretty sure there probably wouldn't be a season 3. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm not saying, you know, the fans haven't influenced the show at all. I'm just saying not that much. I feel. I don't know. Maybe they have, like, a giant room full of, you know, maybe like Media DHX has, like, just giant moral, like, this giant shrine of, like, fan stuff. But anyway, this has been the guy with no nickname, and I'll see you guys in my next Let's Talk. See you guys later. MLP is good, fandom or not.